over that. A very good afternoon. I hope you're having a very fantastic Wednesday afternoon. Victoria Bagaya, you're going to hear with the news at Live at 1. The news is coming in from the different parts of the country as we keep tabs on what is happening there. The National Environment Management Authority has put in place an administrative penalty scheme to deter further degradation of the environment. Companies and individuals could pay up to 1 billion shillings or serve a jail sentence, as Olivier Nakalembe lets us know on what these plans entail, who are the offenders, just because you have degraded the environment. What is qualified, Olivier, as degrading the environment, and where is this direction coming from?
Thank you so much, Victoria Bagay. I'm coming to you live at the Media Center, and today NEMA is actually biting because express penalties have been put in place for all environmental degraders. And of course, the power has been derived from policy. We are speaking to the Executive Director of the National Environment Management Authority, Dr. Akankwasa Barega, to explain to us why exactly have you come out at this material time when the law was passed in 2019.
Pass a law, you have to put in place regulations and guidelines to implement it. So in 2020, all the regulations under the law were finalized. So today, we are here to launch the express penalty scheme for environment offenders, because research indicates that for corporate bodies or the companies, financial penalties tend to influence behavior than the custodial sentences. So for individuals, a custodial sentence would influence the behavior. But for a company, a financial penalty actually influences the behavior more.
You could take us through what some of these penalties are.
We have penalties ranging from failure to conduct environment and social impact assessment for developments. In other words, you are developing a commercial building, you are developing a road, you are putting a factory without the NEMA certificate. That's an offense, and you will pay a penalty of up to 1 billion if you are an individual, or 6 billion if you are a company. These are maximum penalties. The alternative, in case one does not want to pay a financial penalty, is to take a custodial sentence, in which case 15 years in jail.
Victoria Bagaya, more penalties are definitely and have been stipulated right here by the National Environment Management Authority. And part and parcel of those are actually you as a car driver or a car owner having a dustbin in your car. On how well this shall be implemented is definitely a matter of time. I shall be giving you all these details in our subsequent bulletins. NBS, Amasengedre, and NBS Live at 9. I am Olivia Nakalembe, coming to you live at the Media Center. Back to you, Victoria Bagaya, at the Political Command Center.
You have to start somewhere. Is it too high, 1 billion or 15 years? You got to tread very carefully for those who are planning on degrading the environment. Away from that, in Parliament, over 70 staff of the National Social Security Fund, NSSF, appearing before the Select Committee, probing the mismanagement, corruption, and the political interference concerns relating to the fund. The acting managing director, that is Patrick Ayota, is appearing with former MD Richard Byarugaba to answer some of the questions arising from this investigation. Shamim Nawakoze from Parliament. Shamim, a lot has been transpiring, a lot is unraveling out of this investigation. What new outcome did you learn today?
Victoria Bagaya, what will be new to the probe will certainly be unveiled today, and we wait to listen in on what key issues are to be raised, what key questions are to be raised, especially on the appointment of Mr. Patrick Ayota as the acting manager for the fund, NSSF is. But we know for sure that today is the last day that the committee is interfacing with the NSSF managers, the current ones and the former manager, who is Richard Byarugaba. And both of them have been here, and the committee is waiting to question them on the different circumstances, the alleged political interference within the corruption that has been cited, but also the share of money, even with the unions. Now, those are some of the questions that are to be asked to individuals from within, but we know a number of more than 70 people are in this room waiting to be questioned. Those that handle projects at the NSSF, those that are handling the funds as is, but equally those that do the appointments among those that are yet to be questioned on the different things. But what we can tell you, Victoria Bagaya, is up to today we cannot be sure and we cannot confirm to anybody that their money is safe. We know for sure that the Auditor General previously was very hesitant to note that or to tell Ugandans that their money is safe in the NSSF. So up to today, we can only afford to wait and see how much the committee reveals, what the people tell the committee, and why that certainly has to come through. And what is more important today is that all these people are happening or appearing at the same time. So every one of them will have to answer on the questions as is. We know that different parties have submitted differently, except Dr. Sam Lyomoji, who said and wrote to the Speaker and said he will never return to this committee. The committee will have to conclude most of the work, especially to do with interactions of the different stakeholders or witnesses in the matter this week, and then they embark on making a report. We know for sure there is only a 1-month probe. Whether that 1 month is enough is a different question, Bagaya.
Well, I do think 1 month is enough. We have a lot of paper trail if we're talking about auditing and following the accounts. Plus, the Select Committee has handled quite a number of probes and have been able to deliver. We definitely are waiting within that 1 month to see what is happening at the NSSF. Away from that, just 2 days after the Tarehe Sita anniversary celebrations, the Presidential Awards Committee is yet to respond to concerns from people who did not receive medals during the Tarehe Sita celebrations at Kacheka Stadium in Mbara. This follows complaints from people who say they submitted their names but were never considered. Alex Mugasha, standing by for us. Alex, first of all, you're among those who received, so I believe you are not complaining on behalf of your father, the late, of course, Lieutenant Mugasha, who did contribute to that cause. But let me ask, how did they miss on this list of very important persons who brought us into this power?
Certainly. Thank you very much, Victoria Bagat, the Political Command Center. Very good afternoon to you and to our viewer. It's without a doubt I indeed received a medal on behalf of my late father, that is Lieutenant Peter Mugasha, and I'm thankful indeed. But there are quite a number of people that received these medals, and different categories they were. We have those that were part of the Front for National and UPDF as well, those that are still serving. Now, a number of people also had submitted names through the Office of the Resident District Commissioner here in Mbarara City, but they did not receive their medals. So the office petitioned the Presidential Awards Committee, and that is Hajat Zamina Malole, who also met the office, and here is what they told them.
A function where we have an investor ceremony, we would wish most of the people and have that opportunity of the people in that area recognized, especially if they are there. But also not to forget that this is a national honors. They have to have that national outlook. We have to have people from different regions because they have also submitted and they have also contributed. So it is a national function for all of us. Why some of these names, you could not hear them? It's because by the time they submitted those names, the process was long gone. We had lists way back from the time of COVID. The names were being submitted, but then we were not having national functions. There was a lockdown. So we keep on getting some people from the database, but also those ones that have been submitted on time. Because the Presidential Awards Committee sits 6 times. We try to align those meetings according to the nationally gazetted days.
Well, that is Hajat Zamina Malole, and she is the Presidential Awards Committee Secretary, and trying to make things clear in as far as those that submitted their names in different categories but did not appear on the list of those that were awarded on Monday, that is 6th February, on the Tarehe Sita celebrations that were held here in Mbarara City at Kacheka Stadium. Now, those people were coming from Greater Mbarara because before it was split into city and the district, definitely these people submitted submitted their names through the office of the resident city commissioner. So to the fact that they didn't appear on the list, they had to come out and find out what exactly happened. So that is Hajat Zamina Malole explaining. But she also went ahead to explain the benefits that come with some of these meadows, especially when they are received by the exact persons that are the beneficiaries of these meadows, because some of these actually include easy service delivery as well as health provision and some of VIP treatment in as far as service provision and seeking is concerned. We will definitely get more details in as far as these people are concerned and how they missed on the list, but also the benefits of these meadows. Let me get back to you, Victoria, at the Political Command Center.
You beat me to it a lot, and we do think they should be awarded if they did play a role in that fight. Away from that, in Hoima, herdsmen in the drought-hit Buseruka sub-county have tasked the government to construct well-established valley dams that will provide the cattle corridor with enough water. Currently, the drought has intensified fights amongst herdsmen in the area who have to move long distances in search for water for their animals. Cuthbert Chigos is standing by for us to give us all the details on what's happening. Cuthbert, usually the valley dams these herdsmen are asking for do not come cheap, do not come easy. They are planned for, and government usually announces what is the strategic plan they are going to take.
Well, Victoria, I can tell you it is something that has always been in the pipeline, because the first time the herdsmen came out to ask for well-established, whenever it is time for drought, you find that there is no water. And even other water points that the herdsmen rely on, they have all dried out. And you find that a few rich men have gone ahead to construct their own valley dams. But of course, you know, these animals do not want to know that this valley dam belongs to sun. So if you find the animals drinking, and of course the owner finds out that the animals that are drinking from his valley dam don't belong to him, it ends up into a fight. And of course you find that the local leaders are receiving these fights on almost a daily basis, and they say they have failed to control them, and the only solution is to see that government goes ahead to construct more than 5 valley dams in Buseruka sub-county, and that would be the only remedy to solve these conflicts. But of course, this time of the season is when also herdsmen go ahead to sell out their animals, because there's no grass, because even you can see the grass around me is all brown and animals have nothing to eat. But of course animals have lost weight, so an animal or a cow that will be sold at 1 million shillings as we speak now in Buseruka, a cow goes for 500 shillings because they're all thin and they're not this healthy to be sold because of the drought. And if you want to go probably to there's a river Hoimo, you say you want to go to Lake Albert, there's close to 20 kilometers to 17 kilometers, which most of the herdsmen say cannot walk, but also sub-county, and you find that the local leaders have failed to find a lasting solution, and that's why there's a call to see that government comes out to construct more valley dams here. Back to you, Victoria.
Well, Cuthbert Chigos reporting for us live in Hoima. Hoima is also among those that did return around 12.8 billion shillings to the consolidated fund, and 8 infrastructure projects were supposed to do that, didn't do it. I wonder if that could have been one of those that could have been handled. Away from that, the death toll continues to rise after a devastating earthquake caused widespread destruction in Turkey and Syria. Rescuers are working against the clock to free people who are trapped under the rubble, and as we speak, more than 9,400 have been killed as baby bones who are stuck under rubble makes it out alive. Of course, this is good news. We speak to DW's Emmanuel Chase for more details on that. Emmanuel, it's quite devastating what happened in these 2 countries. What is the latest update as we speak?
Hello, Victoria. Well, the death toll you've just mentioned, it keeps on rising. On Wednesday, over 9,400 bodies have already been recovered, and we are on the 3rd day of the rescue operation to try and find survivors. Of course, it's a race against time at this stage, because people are trapped under collapsed buildings. They face not just that, but also freezing temperatures, also aftershocks, so more tremors after the initial earthquakes on Monday. So far, there's hundreds of those, over 100 tremors that were felt, and it really complicates the already difficult rescue operation.
EU, what so far has been delivered, but also we know northern Syria is undergoing a war as we speak. How hard is it going to be for them to get this help?
Absolutely. We have two very dire situations with a different outcome. On the one hand, on the Turkish side, we have the EU civil protection mechanism, which has been activated. We're talking about 17 countries coordinating to send 25 search and rescue teams, 2 emergency medical teams. So this is about 1,200 rescuers, along with 79 search dogs, which will look for survivors in the rubble. There's even Ukraine, a country itself under war, that sent 2 planes full of humanitarian aid and rescuers to Turkey. Now we have another situation in northern Syria. You've mentioned it. There's the war. It's even more complicated to access the country. There's one border checkpoint between Turkey and Syria where humanitarian aid has been transiting for years, but it has been damaged. It was closed at the time, and the biggest hindrance is, of course, the war itself. This is the reason why there's only one transit point, but it's also the reason why this earthquake was so deadly in Syria, because buildings were already damaged by years of shelling by the government forces, which are supported by Russia. And in the regions that are not controlled by Damascus, well, civilians are left to their own devices. There's the white helmets. There are Syrian civil rescuers. They work tirelessly around the clock to search the rebels, but the extent of the damage is simply absolutely terrible. The situation is very dire. There's no electricity, no water, and hundreds of people still trapped under the rubble.
How long do we have, Emmanuel, to rescue if we can't save any more lives who are trapped under this rubble? How long do you think we need to work? They need to work within what period of time to save their lives?
You know, each hour passing, there's less likelihood of finding people alive. Imagine if you've been trapped there until since Monday morning with sub-temperatures, freezing temperatures, the snow plus the extra tremors. It's really a race against time. You don't know how long a body can survive. You know, someone can survive. Also, it depends on the state of people under the rubble, if they've been relatively sheltered, if they've been in good health. But you have to imagine they are left without water, without food, and some of them sustain terrible injuries while under the rubble. And even those who are evacuated, who are extracted from the rubble, well, some of them, they won't even make it to the hospital because the two countries are overwhelmed. So it is a very, very dramatic situation.
Quite devastating what is transpiring in those two countries. Thank you so much, Emmanuel Chase, for that update, reporting for us live from our partners in Berlin, DW. Keep them in our prayers. And also, very importantly, climate change is real, so take it very seriously. We'll take a short commercial break and return with more stories.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
National Medical Stores is a government agency mandated to buy, store and distribute medicines and medical supplies to government health facilities in Uganda. For Ugandans that we serve, help us serve you better by taking your individual responsibility seriously. Report theft of government medicines and medical supplies to the nearest police station or to the State House Health Monitoring Unit. Do not pay for any medicines or medical supplies labeled Government of Uganda not for sale. Do all that is within your means to stop all preventable diseases, including COVID-19. Continue observing the Ministry of Health standard operating procedures, SOPs including wearing a face mask whenever you're in public spaces. Visit a designated health facility to receive your COVID-19 vaccination and a booster dose for those that are eligible. Prevention is better than cure. NMS, passionate about your life.
Do you want to spice up the good times? Chukua Deko Nera on GoTV. Upgrade your subscription and get the next higher package at no extra cost on us. Chukua Deko Nera. Get the best of the best entertainment.
I am a happy man.
Dial star 206# now to upgrade. Why wait? Upgrade today because Chukua Deko Nera. GoTV Uganda. Love it.
Work, work, work. Work's over. Busy Biter, get down to snack business. When snacking is under attack, we'll be there to fight back.
You're watching NBS Live at 1. For those who have just joined us, we're speaking matters political election reforms. Now, political players from TESO have cautioned Parliament against passing laws that place Uganda under the endless rule of the NRM government. This was during an engagement amongst various stakeholders in which the electoral process from the East, who were discussing the needed political reforms ahead of the 2026 polls, as Eddie Enuru reports.
Ahead of the 2026 general elections, political actors from TESO are calling for an early review of needed election reforms. These have, however, cautioned Parliament against passing laws that place the country under the permanent leadership of the NRM regime. These want a political legal regime that instead addresses voter apathy, reduces electoral petitions, and reinstates trust in the country's electoral processes.
We had asked the Electoral Commission that so and so is my representative, therefore allow him to be able to go to the talent center. That was denied. We could not be able to do that. The second challenge we had was that even when we appointed monitors in these different polling stations, they were arrested, they were bundled up. All my team, except myself, was not arrested, but the entire team was arrested.
So that they begin to echo in their minds that if we don't abide by the threats, Ame will come in. Once the intimidation approach does not work, they will bring money, which is also illegal. For money to be used during the campaign.
This was during a sensitization dialogue of the electorate in TESO on key electoral reforms.
Now, MP, once he's elected, can do whatever he wants. The citizen have no power to recall him, to discipline him. The party cannot discipline him or her, and nobody. So they are a free range. So this is affecting our democracy. The checks and balances on the office of an MP is wanting, is weak.
The regional consultative dialogues brought together different stakeholders in electoral processes, the Electoral Commission, Uganda Human Rights Commission, different political party heads, and many others to give an input in the process. The discussion also emphasized the need for amendment of Article 60 of the Constitution, which gives powers to the President to appoint the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. Linda Ndungami, Eddie Enuru, NBS Live at 1.
Now, in Lira District, civil society organizations and political parties have emphasized the need for continuous civic education throughout the election cycles. This was during a brainstorming meeting that was held on what changes need to be made for improved participation in the electoral system in the region. Concerns, of course, were also raised over human rights violations and involvement of security forces in politics. Take a look.
Several stakeholders decried a lack of civic education during a regional grand citizen debate held in Lira City. The debate was aimed at gathering views for needed political and electoral reforms in the Lango region.
It is our role to ensure that our constitution, being a living document, is reformed to adapt to the day-to-day demand of the community and the society.
We must not wait until 2026 for electoral year and then we begin to manifest. We must start early, and civic education must begin from a father talking to a son.
During the engagement, political players questioned the independence of courts of law while handling election petitions and associated delays.
Where the members of parliament were taken to court because of lack of academic qualifications. But they stayed in parliament until when the term is ending and then the ruling was done. What do you think was happening? Were there no influence pending because some of them voted the other way, so they kept them around?
There's a general call that if we are to have a free and fair election, then the leadership must be free and fair as well. By having the office of the chairperson electoral commission getting to office, taken into the office of taken over by the public service, where people apply and competed for, just like the rest of the officers in the electoral commissions are done.
Also highlighted among key issues was the need for continuous civic and voter education and the need to set academic requirements for all political offices.
The electoral commission, in most of this, we have discussed we are punching bag. Basically because we are implementers and we are the forefront.
I don't think we shall have another space for democracy in this country. The ruling party and the security institutions and any other institutions are so intertwined in this country.
Concern was also raised over human rights violation and involvement of security forces in politics. Rita Tugumisirize, Isaac Otwi, Nbs Live at 1.
And let's quickly check on the PDM status in Mubende district. The legislators have raised concern over the fact that a number of local leaders were sidelined from the PDM program, something they say is slowing implementation of the same. A monitoring visit of the progress of the program revealed that even though the SACCOs have up to 32 million shillings on their accounts, they do not meet the criterion to withdraw and utilize the funds. The district has 79 SACCOs while the municipality has 18. And all these are intended to benefit from the program. Take a look.
The Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Anita Among, together with her Deputy, Right Honourable Thomas Taiwa, directed all members of Parliament to go and supervise the progress of the parish development model. According to what we hear from the ground, there has not been much progress, most especially on this program. According so far to the information we have gathered from the locals, some were discriminated. The community needs to inform Parliament, needs to inform us that the program which was designed by government has worked or has not worked, so that if it has worked, we put in more money. If it has not worked, then we see how it can be stopped to engage our locals on other different government programs.
It is a program which moved slowly. I don't know why. Yes, we are not happy as political leaders to be sidelined in this program. And in our Local Government Act, we are the chief monitors who can monitor the program. But within this program, we are sidelined. We are not happy. We political leaders, the minister who has designed this, we are not happy. We are not very happy.
The money is readily available. We have 25 million on the account. We also got 7 million initially to be to be on which the 25 was added. So I want to inform you that as we move ahead, we're going to find out which categories of groups were organized and were able to apply for this money. We did not want, that's why the Right Honourable Speaker, the reason why the Right Honourable Speaker sent us to come and look at what is happening about the PDM, we do not want this money to be spoiled or to be diverted.
Well, Parliament is on a 2-week recess, and of course, like I said, the aim of this is to check on the status of the PDM in all their constituencies and report back to Parliament. So we're waiting to hear what are some of those issues, the progress, but also very importantly on how we can do better to move everybody from the subsistence to the money economy. Victoria Bagaya Chigundi is my name. I'll leave it here for now. Good afternoon.
Up next.